Alright, Chapter 4 is, you just completed the events of the Dragon Hatchery, and now you are going to basically spend the entire next chapter
Walking.
walking / on the road.
It's a lot like Lord of the Rings. It's just walking.
Except no, you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, and you don't have a ring of power.
You might, depending on your DM.
Depending on your DM, true. Yeah. So after this, you finish the Dragon Hatchery, you get back to the Greenest, and when you do, they're like, yeah, nobody's here. They left. Like, Onthar and Leo went to Elturel. Elturel, which is a different city. So, like, yeah, they left you money and wagons and stuff. Go to this other city. The other city is about 6 days away, and you can have encounters if you want. That's what it says. You get to Elturel, and you hang out with Froom and Leo, and you chat and you hang out and you drink and you share stories of valor, because Froom loves stories of valor.
He does.
And yeah, then he asks you to go on a mission. And the mission, he says, he's like, listen, we know where the treasure went, and we know where it's going. It's going north on the Tradeway. We want you to follow it, find out where it's going, like where the end game is. So you can meet up with it at Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate, I don't know how much you guys know about the city. It's, or at least in this version, it's weird. You're not allowed to have wagons in the city because the streets are too narrow. So what you do is you go up, what happens to most traders is they go up from the South Gate and sell everything they own. And then people, like not mules, but like people schlep all the stuff through the city up to the North Gate, at which point it is sold to another merchant who's going north. Because that happens, most merchants and most like guards for the road just kind of like pick one gate and they hang out there and they hire out. So you go to Baldur's Gate and they say, like, go to the North Gate. When you see the cult come by, then you just kind of hop onto that caravan. Another thing that is kind of important to note that they'll tell you about is, since the road north, which is going from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep, since it is, like, it's dangerous and long, so usually a bunch of merchants will join together, safety in numbers, they'll all hire out their own guards, so you have, like, a nice big safe caravan. So your job is to attach yourself to that caravan somehow, and then travel with them north, get any information you can, but don't necessarily get too close. You don't want to blow your cover, because the trip north takes, what did we say?
30 days to Waterdeep? Or 2 months?
It was 2 months to Waterdeep, so yeah. So, okay, yeah. So it's 5 days to Elthuriel, and then 30 days to Baldur's Gate.
2 months to
and then 2, yeah. So there's a table for trying to get yourself hired out by traders and merchants. It is a... I like that it's either a persuasion charisma check or a strength athletics check to try and get yourself hired out. And one of the cool things is you get money. Depending on what you roll, you get, what is it, between 0 and 10 gold per 10 day. So since it's a, say, 2-month trip,
yeah,
that's,
80 gold.
80 gold. You get 80 gold.
I'm just saying, even though it's a week is a week, but...
Yeah.
Also, we should point out that it's the first time you really get introduced to the factions, because Onthar is a member of the Order of the Gauntlet, and I think he offers you the chance to join.
You can. You can join the Order of the Gauntlet at this point if you want to, and actually Leo is a member of the Harpers.
So, okay.
So those are 2 factions you're getting introduced to right here.
Yeah.
So
the hiring out process is kind of, you do whatever that is, and then there's a huge list here of NPCs.
It's almost 2 full pages.
Of
this, and this. Of just, yeah.
You take with this you take with a grain of salt. It's all the different caravans and the leaders and people involved. So you can either play as much as this as you want, or as little as you want. And then next, basically, after you head north from Baldur's Gate, you've got 2 months on the road. So buckle up, because you might run into some random events. You might not run into any, though, based on, I think, how the game goes.
Yeah, okay. So then we're going to get to the random events. They have, alright, so it's every day you roll a d20. If you get a 16 or higher, one of the following things happens. 16, an event occurs in the morning. 17, it occurs at the first stop. So basically, yeah, it tells you when the event occurs, 16 to 20. And then there's a D12 table to tell you which event occurs. There are, as you might have guessed, 12 events. And here's the first big part where you find typos in the book. The titles of the events in the table don't match up always with the title of the event in the description. So like, one is called, if you roll an 8, it's High Holy Day. There is no High Holy Day anywhere in the events. There's an event Payback that isn't on the table, so I substituted one for the other. So it's...
What's the other one?
Typo. Well, the Golden Hind is called the Golden Stag. They're at least synonyms.
Similar, yeah.
So yeah. You're supposed to roll dice. Every event, you get 300 experience for solving it. And some of them are combat events, some of them aren't at all.
But you might, theoretically, if nobody rolls higher than that, you would get no experience this entire trip.
Yep.
Unless the DM obviously would put one in there just so it's not boring.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you got one every day, that's 300 experience every day.
Yeah, but then you max out at 12.
True.
After 12 days, then you're out of stuff to do.
Unless you start repeating, but yeah.
There
were some good items, I think, that you could find.
There are. For the Golden Stag, it's basically, you find a golden deer, and your group gets together, and they're like, hey, let's hunt this down. And it actually gives you 3 different outcomes. As the DM, you get to pick which one it is. If you kill the stag, and you skin it, and you get this beautiful golden coat, the local farmers find out that you killed their golden stag, and it actually is like kind of like a nature protecty thing, and they demand $500 or 500 gold for the loss of their holy stag thing. You can just kind of like corner it, and at that point, it speaks to you in either Sylvan or Elven, and says to you, not all will survive, and then vanishes, and where it left, there's a +1 longbow. And then the third one is you find out, like, it runs into a ruin like some kind of elven ruin, and turns into a very thin wood elf, who's like, hey, I was cursed, and whenever I leave these ruins, I become a stag, and I'm gold, and everyone wants to kill me, because I'm a golden stag. And if you take me home to Water's Deep, there is a wizard who can remove the curse. So yeah, and then you can do what you want from there, and that one gives you a bonus 500 experience for believing and protecting him. The problem is that people are going to want to kill it, because it's a golden stag, and you're keeping it like a pet. So people in your caravan are... you're going to have to convince them and protect it to not stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the 3 options. I opted for the one that was the easiest because our party is very money hungry and would have slaughtered all the townsfolk in the first option, and probably would have just killed them in the third option too. So
I wouldn't have killed him.
You wouldn't have killed him.
But the rest of the party would have wanted to.
They might not have brought it up. Alright, I fire breath on him. Oh wow, he's dead and roasted and smells delicious.
So was there any other... I mean, we don't have to go through each event.
No.
Was there any other major events that you liked, that you saw, ones that we didn't run? I mean, if not, we can just move on to what happens later.
I planned this out a little bit differently. I got rid of the whole rolling system, because I feel like that could be tedious and boring. Alright, roll. Did anything happen today? No. Okay, roll. Does anything happen today? Mm-hmm. So I planned it out. Since it is a 2-month journey.
Yeah.
I...
picked one for each one.
Yeah. I planned out who was going to be in one. I planned out who was going to be in each caravan. I planned out what events were going to happen each time. And I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
it was pretty smooth. I liked the Golden Stag. I like No Room at the Inn. No Room at the Inn is one where basically you get to an inn and there are 4 NPCs in there drinking and being very raucous, and they bought out the entire inn, and they're just dicks.
Yep.
And the owner of the inn is like, hey, I'm really sorry, but like he paid me He paid me for this whole place. I can't turn him away now. I'm sorry, you guys can't stay here. And they're just dicks. And it turns out that they are assassins. Oh no, I think this is one of the parts where I had to change it up.
Yeah.
It says in the book that they are disguised as assassins, 4 assassins, and I think assassins have a challenge rating of like 7 or 8. I'm gonna actually look that up.
Here.
Yeah. So I switched them to spies, which are more level appropriate than assassins. Yeah, but they're just like huge assholes. So as a DM, it was kind of fun for me to just like be pricks to these guys, and I had been pointing out that they're not very good with people. So I had been kind of reprimanding them for being too quick to anger and too quick to fight.
Challenge rating 8.
Challenge rating 8 for assassins, and they were
78
supposed to
hit points.
We're supposed to fight 4 of them at level 4. So I switched it to spies and it turned into a pretty easy encounter.
Spies are challenge rating 1.
Yeah. So, but I mean, do as you like.
So what were you saying about us not being good with people?
Oh yeah. So I basically kept on being like, yeah, man, you guys, you just like fight everything, and you're not good with people, and you're ripping people's arms off. And in this one, you're supposed to fight these assassins. They're pricks. So I got to, like, I could see it in their eyes. They're like, he keeps on yelling at us for fighting all these things, and these guys are honestly, they're just being rude. That doesn't mean we should kill them, but you're supposed to kill them. And then they did kill them, and everyone was happy.
Yeah.
So that one was fun for me as the DM. Was there any, do you remember anything that you
remember? I know we had one get dealt with by the NPCs, so that way we would be endeared to them. Do you remember that?
No, I don't know.
It might have been just a made-up one that you did. We did the spider one with the ettercaps and stuff.
Oh yeah, you got attacked by spiders and ettercaps. Just
I just as a DM comment, you made the other, like, the team of security guards that were part of the group, like the other team of security. There was like something was attacking up ahead, and you had them kill them, so that because the group was very suspicious of that other group, they sent us ahead to go fight everything. Or like, why you keep sending us to go fight stuff? We don't even know who you are. Like, you're a group of people. Why don't you go fight something? You trying to kill us?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and
very suspicious.
In our defense, there was an entire other group of security, and every time they're like, something's going on, you guys should go deal with it. And we're like, wow, you almost get killed on all of these things, and you keep sending us out to do these. Are you trying to get us killed? So Sean made up some encounter for them to go handle and take care of, so that we're like, oh, okay, maybe they're not assholes.
Yeah, that sounds like something I do.
Which is also kind of what we thought about Governor Nighthill in the first chapter. We're like, wow, maybe let us go to sleep, you dick. Like, you're trying to get us killed every 2 seconds, you're sending us out on something else. We come back and he's like, well, actually, could you go check on the mill? Like, alright, so what happens after that?
So yeah, you get the random road events, and then there are a couple planned road events, where the first one is you get recognized, I think.
That's what it's called.
It's called Recognized. Have each character make a charisma check on the first day of the journey. Don't tell the players what it is for. So, again, this is a chapter that you need to plan out in advance, because that line is in the third to last road event. Had you been going from the beginning, just flying it by the seat of your pants, you wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So at some point in the journey, the character who had the lowest charisma check is recognized by one of the cultists from someone at the greenest. So yeah.
This is that guy that kind of stares you down.
Yeah,
and, like,
so he kind of stares you down and follows you, figures out where you sleep. And then I think he gets murdered.
Yeah, I think he gets murdered, and everybody's like, wow, he was giving you, like, the stink eye yesterday. What's that about?
Yeah.
And, like, people are starting to think that you might have done it. Might blow your cover.
True.
Or is that the next event?
No, you're right. Yeah. And then you meet, then once you get to Daggerford, great place, go to Daggerford. 2 more people join the caravan that are kind of important. Asbara Jus and Jamna Gleamsilver.
Yeah. So a rogue and a red wizard.
Yeah. And yeah, so they show up. There's a thing at Daggerford where, You roll insight check. If you pass, you realize that this new gnome assassin, Jamna, is kind of staring you down and looking at you a lot. You don't know why. But if you don't roll high enough, you don't notice anything.
Yeah. And was there a thing with the eggs, or did you?
Yeah, I'm coming up. I'm coming up to that. So then, at a certain point in the journey, whether or not you notice Jamna checking you out, there's an event where you sit down to your morning porridge or whatever you eat for breakfast, and she runs over and she goes, "Don't eat that." And she uses her knife and she scoops out a little like seed this big, and basically, I forget what she says it is. It is a small sliver of bone curled into a circle so you can swallow it in a mouthful of gruel without noticing. Once eaten, it slowly uncurls inside you, exposing a needle that'll pierce your guts and kill you slowly. I suspect they're in your breakfast. Let's talk this evening. So yeah, she saves you from being killed by porridge, and tells you, and she reveals that she's doing the same thing here. She's following the Cult of the Dragon. She wants to find out some shit.
Yeah. So she saves your life. We also took it a step further to stop everybody else, just in case.
Yeah. Oh, but then what the characters don't know is that that's a complete lie. She sleight of handed that into your porridge to gain your trust.
And I think that's pretty much it for that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. She's part of the Xenotrim, but she doesn't tell you that.
So that is chapter 4.
That is Who's Your Friend? Oh, there's one more.
Oh, there's?
Yeah, Murder Most Foul. Someone dies. Someone gets killed.
Or is this the... Okay.
This is, a different thing.
Right.
So someone gets killed, and people think it might be you. And, yeah.
I think does the Red Wizard die?
Yeah, at that point, the Red Wizard also comes out and tries to calm everyone down. He's like, whoa, we don't know what happened. Let's not try and murder this guy just because we think he might have murdered this other guy. Like, we don't know.
Okay.
And then turns out it was actually Jamma, but the characters never know this. That's one thing that's kind of weird about this book, is it's chock full of information that you never tell the characters.
Yeah.
So that's episode 4.
So, anything you would, overall, I mean, I think the way we played it kind of happened exactly as you heard it. Anything you would change?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think I tied in the Murder Most Foul with one of the other events.
With the one where the guy notices you. He was the guy that got murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple cool ones, a couple of...
feel free to make up your own, obviously.
Yeah. It's cool.
But yeah,
it's good.
I think it was just, maybe come up with stuff, potential downtime activity things, or encourage your players to look into that, since potentially if they don't roll any encounters, they could just be on the road doing nothing.
Yeah.
So maybe, like I think I had a herbalism kit, so I used that time to craft healing potions while we're just like traveling along the road doing nothing.
I will say, if you're going to run this, there are so many NPCs that they give you to try and plan it out beforehand. Like, I actually sketched out the caravan, like how many carts there were, who is at each cart, so I could keep it together in my own head. Because like if you just have all this random stuff, you're gonna drive yourself crazy trying to remember it all. So pick a couple guys, the guys you like, throw them in there. Things that you think you would role play well, or things that you think will be interesting. Yeah, plan it out.
So chapter 5.
Chapter 5, Staying Alive, is construction ahead.
All right, see you in just a sec.
See you in ahead.